A very good evening to you, and this is Weekend Primetime News on NTV Sports and Shakti TV. I'm Katrina Chang. And before we get into your stories in detail, let's first take a look at your headlines.
Four dead following collision in Ahalegoda. I will not allow forests to be cleared for any reason, a statement from the President. Minister Sajid Premadasa says that a national government will come into effect. I wish to see the 20th Amendment adopted, a statement from Deputy Minister Harsha De Silva.
මගේ පෞද්ගලික මතය නම් 20 වෙනි සංශෝධනය ගේන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක වඩා හොඳයි කියන එක.
Roundbumi rally journeys from Gaul to Ambalangoda with the praise of the people.
The World Environment Day commemoration was held at Bihar Mahadevi Park in Colombo today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
The commemoration ceremony for World Environment Day 2015, which is being marked with the theme 7 Billion Dreams, One Planet Consume with Care, is organized by the State Ministry of Environment and the Colombo Municipal Council. The President also participated at an exhibition being held parallel to Environment Day. The President also planted a sapling at the Vihara Mahadevi Park to commemorate World Environment Day 2015. Meanwhile, a special report compiled by environmental organizations with regard to resettlement taking place around the Wilpattu Sanctuary was presented to President Maithripala Sirisena yesterday. The President's media division says that the President has called for reports from various authorities on the alleged clearing of a section of the Wilpattu Sanctuary. The President had noted that after receiving all the information, a final decision would be made on resettlement in these areas.
මේ ප්‍රදේශයට විශේෂයෙන්ම පදිංචිය සඳහා හෝ වෙනත් කටයුතු වලට කැලෑ කපන්න හරි.
There is no way that land in this area can be given for clearing, settlement or any other purpose. When resolving this problem, I hope to ensure that the forest is protected and that forest land is not cleared to provide displaced families with land to settle on. Nevertheless, I will not allow such destruction of forest land to take place in any part of Sri Lanka.
වෙන ප්‍රදේශවල වුණත් මේ දේ සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඉඩ දෙන්න පුළුවන් කමක් නැහැ.
7 people were killed in separate road accidents which occurred today and yesterday.
4 people were killed in a collision which occurred this morning in Ahalegoda on the Ratnapura-Colombo main road. A three-wheeler which was travelling at high speed from Ratnapura towards Avisavila had collided with a motorcycle travelling in the same direction and had then crashed into a bus travelling in the opposite direction. 3 of the people travelling in the three-wheeler were killed on the spot, while the 4th was pronounced dead after being admitted to the Avisavila base hospital. The deceased were residents of Idamalgoda, aged 16, 29 and 18. The police say the motorcycle rider and the driver of the bus have been arrested in connection with the incident. Meanwhile, 2 people were killed last night when a van and a three-wheeler travelling in the same direction in Thudalla, Jayala crashed into each other before colliding with another three-wheeler and a wall. The police say the driver of the first three-wheeler and a female passenger were killed in the accident. A child who was also a passenger in the three-wheeler sustained injuries. The police say the driver of the van has been taken into custody. A passenger bus travelling from Kathragama to Negombo had run over a youth at a bus stop in Kurana, Katunayaka last evening. The police say the youth was killed on the spot and that a woman sustained injuries. The deceased was a 22-year-old resident of Minuangoda.
A group of UPF MPs convened a media briefing today and commented on the no-confidence motion that was being submitted against the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The media briefing was held this morning in Narayanpeta. Several MPs who are with us have not signed it because they did not get the opportunity. But they will definitely sign the no confidence motion. Clearly, it will be adopted. What happens next, in line with our constitution, is that when a no confidence motion against the Prime Minister is adopted, the Cabinet is dissolved, not Parliament. Then His Excellency the President is vested with the duty by the constitution to appoint the person who commands the support of the majority of Parliament as the Prime Minister.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ බහුතරයේ විශ්වාසයේ දිනාගත් පුද්ගලයා අගමැති හැටියට නම් කිරීම.
වැඩිපුර මන්ත්‍රී සංඛ්‍යාව
I see this as the first occasion on which no confidence motion against the Prime Minister has received 112 signatures or a majority of Parliament. Thereby, Ranil Wickremesinghe has no right to remain once this is submitted. If he has shame, he will resign as Prime Minister. If he does not resign, when Parliament convenes, this will be given priority and following the debate, he will be defeated. So the President has a duty to invite the group with the majority to form a government and then get the electoral reforms adopted. No one is against that.
මේ මැතිවරණ ක්‍රමේ සංශෝධනය ඒ තුලින් ඒකට කවුරුවක් විරුද්ධ නැහැ.
The no confidence motion against the Prime Minister, which was submitted yesterday, has become the topic of discussion not only in political circles but also across the country. Let's take a look at some of the views that have been expressed on the political stage.
බහුතරය තුනෙන් දෙකේ තිබ්බ ආණ්ඩුවේ කටයුතු කරන්න බැරුණ එදා අපි කළා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න කරනවා.
They couldn't do this work with the government, with a two-thirds majority, and now they question how we are doing it. They say that there are 114 signatures on the no-confidence motion against Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, but our sources in Parliament tell us that there are only 81 signatures and 15 of those MPs have said that they did not sign it. In the end, it seems that they are trying to put forward a no-confidence motion with forged signatures. We challenge them to bring forward their no-confidence motion.
අත්සන් ඉදිරිපත් කළා ලෝකෙට පෙන්වන්න හදනවා. අපි දැන් අභියෝග කරනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න තමගේ විශ්වාස භංග යෝජනාව.
දැන් අපිට දැනගන්නට තියෙනවා.
We have got to know today of another cunning program being initiated for graduates targeting the next election. There are preparations today on the part of the defeated group, the defeated ministers and MPs to give the 2011, 2012, 2013 and 2014 graduates who did not receive appointments 2,500 rupees each from their black money. They are doing this to use them for canvassing. I warn the graduates of this country, do not devalue yourselves to 2,500 rupees.
රුපියල් 2500කට බාල්දු කරා.
මම හිතන්නේ දැන් මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ කාලේ අවසන්.
I think the time of this parliament has come to an end. This parliament has no way of passing bills. There is no way to adopt the 20th Amendment. There is no way of establishing the Constitutional Council under the 19th Amendment. So what's the use of this parliament? I am personally in favour of introducing a new electoral system because the existing system must change. Let's see if the 20th Amendment could be adopted by next week. If not, we will dissolve Parliament and adopt the 20th Amendment of the Constitution under the new Parliament.
එහෙම බැරි වුණොත් අපි මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරවලා අලුත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේදී ඒ විශ්ස ගේමු.
Minister of Housing and Samudi Sajid Premadasa attended an event held in Hambantota today.
The event was held this morning to donate drinking water to the people of the Galweva Temple Road and Dallagasweva Army Camp Pahalapara area in Hambantota. The current opposition leader is saying that there is no agreement on a national government, and if there is such an agreement, to reveal it to the country. So I am not surprised at the fact that Nimal Siripala de Silva is not aware of this information, because Nimal Siripala de Silva is in a faction that lost the presidential election. He has forgotten that it was Maithripala Sirisena who won the January 8th presidential election. I think Nimal Siripala de Silva is living in another dream. I think he has been daydreaming and is now attempting to claim the seat of the Prime Minister. He must have already got a new suit tailored to sit in the Prime Minister's chair. I would like to say to Nimal Siripala de Silva that he is on the side that lost the presidential election. No matter who wins or loses, it is certain that a national government will come into effect over the next 2 years.
කවුරු දිනුවත් කවුරු පෙරදුනත් අනිවාර්යෙන්ම නියත වශයෙන්ම ඉදිරි වසර දෙකක් ඇතුළත රටේ ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්නේ ජාතික ආණ්ඩුවක්.
The Rambumi Rally for Unity, which is travelling from village to village across the island, spreading the message of peace and coexistence, reached Ambalangura today. Now the rally is flagged off today amid the well wishes of the people of God. Day 30 of the Rambhumi Rally for Unity's journey across the island commenced at the Samala Sports Ground in Galle. A group of senior executives of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited, including Group Director Chandima Rodrigo, were present for the inauguration ceremony. Officials of the National Youth Services Council and the Colombo Port City also graced the occasion.
දහස් සංඛ්‍යාත පිරිසක් ජාති ආගම් පක්ෂ ભેද නොතකා රන්භූමි රැළිය.
We are happy and proud of the way in which hundreds of thousands of people have joined hands with the Ranbhoomi rally, disregarding divisions of religion or race. Through this project, we will be able to foster unity and harmony among the communities.
This rally has started almost a month ago, and through the rally, through the journey, we have seen the indomitable spirit of the people of Sri Lanka. Today, gathered here, I see Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Christians, all gathered together for the sake of unity in the country. As the journey is coming towards an end at this point in time, we do not see this as the end of the spirit. We see this as the beginning of a new spirit of unity that we are trying to forge.
The people of Galle stood united in their diversity as they extended their best wishes to the journey of the Rambhoomi rally.
මේ වගේ වැඩක් කරපු සිරසට අනේක වාරයක් ස්තුතිය පුද කරමි. ජාතික සමගිය වෙනුවෙන් ලොකු දෙයක් කරා.
The people of Galle etched their name on the Rambhoomi monument with much enthusiasm.
Through this program, I wish that the future generation and the citizens of Sri Lanka will be able to live with prosperity and in peace with reconciliation.
The Rambhoomi Rally for Unity then proceeded to Hikkaduwa, the second stop on today's leg of the journey. The Rambhoomi Rally was afforded a warm welcome in Hikkaduwa, the quaint town on the golden southern coast, which earned Sri Lanka international repute among tourists seeking sun and sea.
සිරස කරන මේ වැඩසටහන ඉතාමත් අනර්ගයි. ජාතික තරුණ සේවා සභාවත් එකතු කරන්නේ ලොකෝම කර්තව්‍යය.
The people of Hikkaduwa then joined hands to mark their name on the Rambhoomi monument.
I appreciate this very timely program.
The Rambhoomi rally thus set off to the end point of today's leg of the journey, Ambalangoda, with the blessings of the Mahasangha and the people. The Rambhoomi rally was welcomed with much enthusiasm by the people of Ambalangoda as it approached the town. Senior executives of the Capital Maharaja Organisation, including Group Director of Electronic Media Business, Nidra Veerasinghe, Group Director Senrath Kapakotuwa and the Chief Financial Officer Sri Lala Hangama were present for the occasion to mark the end of today's leg of the journey. Today, for the first time in Sri Lankan history, we are at a position where we can move forward more than we ever thought possible. This is a rare opportunity. In order to take advantage of this opportunity, we must work together as a country, united. That is the need of the day. The MTV-MBC Media Network, which has always taken the fore as a national media network in fulfilling its responsibility to the country, organized the Rambhoomi rally for this purpose. The enthusiasm that you in Ambalangoda have shown for the Rambhoomi rally shows that national unity has become a necessity for the entire country. This is a cause of great happiness for all of us who have organized the Rambhoomi rally.
රන්භූමි රැළිය සංවිධානය කරන අප සියලු දෙනාටම සතුටු විය හැකි කරුණක්.
MTV ABC
We must break the mistrust and disharmony among us and come together as one nation, one community. As a school principal, I have great appreciation for the effort taken by MTV MBC and the National Youth Services Council to spread this message.
The people of Ambalangura joined hands with the River of Humanity to mark the name on the Rambhumi monument. The Rambhumi Rally for Unity, organised by MTV MBC, Newsfirst, Colombo Port City and the National Youth Services Council will commence day 31 of the island-wide journey in Balapitiya at 9 a.m. tomorrow. The rally will reach Indurua at 11 a.m. before proceeding to Beruvala, the end point of tomorrow's leg of the journey. A mother from Ragama has raised suspicions regarding the circumstances of her daughter's death in Saudi Arabia.
Sandhini Nishantini, a 33-year-old mother of two from Galvalavatha, Ragama, passed away recently in Saudi Arabia where she was working. Her remains were repatriated yesterday. Sandhini had left for Saudi Arabia on the 6th of March. She called me on the night of the 13th of April. She told me there was trouble at home and that she had a headache. That was all. I received a call on the 16th at about 3 o'clock and they told me my daughter had died in an accident. Sandhini's family have become suspicious regarding the circumstances of her death due to information that was given to them by another employee of the household where she worked. A driver called me and said my daughter was beaten up and that she had run outside. She was then beaten in the middle of the road and he said that it was the boss's car that ran her over. News First made inquiries from the media spokesperson of the Foreign Employment Bureau, Deputy General Manager Mangala Randenia.
The woman was killed in an accident on an expressway and the employee had repatriated the body at his own cost. There is no cause for any suspicion with regard to this death.
They say that my daughter was hit and killed while walking on the road.
Even the government says she was run over. They are accountable. All we are asking is that inquiries be made. The Foreign Employment Bureau has made full inquiries into this with the cooperation and advice of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. At the same time, the embassy in Saudi Arabia has conducted an inquiry and has sent all the reports to Sri Lanka. There is no truth to the suspicions. The Bureau rejects all of it.
Residents of Valampitiya charged that the unauthorized reclamation of protected wetlands in the area is continuing unabated. The area residents charge that a number of local politicians are involved in the operation.
This wetland is located in the Hamadruwangevatta area in Ambagahandiya, Valampitiya. Western Provincial Councillor Susil Kindelpitiya visited the location following a public complaint and was briefed on the situation by the area residents. A group of officials from the Land Reclamation and Development Corporation also visited the location.
Low-lying lands in the area have been reclaimed continuously. We fought as much as we could to put a stop to it. They attempted to reclaim wetlands in Velevatta and it was stopped in the nick of time following intervention by the land development officials. Several acres were reclaimed in Kalanimulla. It could not be stopped in time. This cannot be done without political support. Illegal reclamation is increasing daily. This in turn causes floods in Kolonava. Now they have started reclaiming this area. We say to the authorities that it appears that good governance has gone colourblind. It appears that they do not see some of the wrongs being committed. This is being done with political intervention. This is being done by politicians who have been bought off. We call on the authorities to please not allow this to happen. Please take steps against this. If this does not happen, then we will continue to fight for the people. We will not stop.
While residents have informed the Valampitiya police regarding the unauthorized reclamation, the police have recorded statements from two persons. When News First made inquiries, the police media spokesperson's office noted that a backhoe used in the reclamation had been seized by the police as the users did not possess the relevant documentation. Area residents claim that they are faced with various threats as a result of their decision to oppose the illegal reclamation that is taking place with political intervention.
The OIC of the Vallavai police has been hospitalized following an assault. The police stated that the OIC was assaulted by a suspect during a raid. A police team including the OIC of Vallavaya, MP Vijita Pereira, had raided a location in the Kammal Junction area in Vallavaya last evening, where liquor was allegedly being sold without a permit. The police said that while the raid was being conducted, a suspect at the location had attacked the Vallavaya OIC with a liquor bottle. The OIC and a police constable who were injured in the attack were admitted to the Vallavaya base hospital and later transferred to the Munragar General Hospital for further treatment.
When we attempted to take the suspect into custody, he tried to escape. At that time, there was a bottle of liquor which was among the rest of the bottles of liquor which we had seized, and it was in his hand. With that bottle, he attacked me and it hit me on the left side of my head. At that instance, we used minimal force to take him into custody. I cannot open my mouth because of injuries to my ear and head.
The police said the assailant has been taken into custody. Now, although 6 months have passed since the beginning of the new school year, students from 20 schools in Vavuniya have still not received textbooks.
Students and teachers have been severely inconvenienced because several Sinhala medium schools in the area have still not received textbooks. Teachers say that the Ministry of Education has stated that the reason behind this is the negligence of officials from the publishing unit of the ministry. Teachers point out that there are only 4 months until the end of the school year. We are in the middle of the second term and they still did not receive books. Because of this, as teachers, we have been severely inconvenienced when we have to teach these students who have to sit for the exam next year. Because of the new syllabus, we do not even have a clear knowledge as to what the new topics are in order for us to teach these students. Textbooks for subjects such as Sinhala literature, information technology and health have not been given to grade 10 students who will be sitting for the GC ordinary level examinations next year.
පළවෙනි වාරේ විභාගයේ සිංහල සාහිත්‍ය පේපරේ ලියන්න හම්බුනේ නැහැ.
ICT We still did not receive textbooks for Sinhala literature and ICT. We will be sitting for O-level examinations next year.
Our correspondent noted that there are 25 Sinhala medium schools in the Vavuniya district, out of which 20 schools have not received textbooks. At present, there are 145 teachers teaching in these 20 schools, which provide education for 3,215 students. Newsfirst made inquiries from the Director of Education for the Vavuniya South Division.
The Ministry of Education says that they have run out of textbooks and they will try to send new textbooks very soon. As soon as we receive these textbooks, we have made the necessary arrangements to distribute them. This problem would not have arisen if the Office of the Education for the Vavuniya South Division did a proper count as to how many students are in need of textbooks and handed it over to us on the 26th of March 2015. If this was done, then we would have dispatched the necessary textbooks in the first round.
Now, a group of Sri Lankan asylum seekers who are being detained in Indonesia have called on the New Zealand government to take them in. A letter bearing the signatures of 65 asylum seekers, including the 54 Sri Lankans, has been submitted to New Zealand authorities.
The group of 65, including the Sri Lankans who have been living as refugees in Indonesia for some time, embarked on a boat on the 5th of May in the hope of reaching New Zealand. The group included 54 Sri Lankans, 10 Bangladeshis and a Myanmarese national. The asylum seekers were accosted by Australian authorities who had taken steps to turn them back after providing them with fresh supplies, including food and fuel. However, the boat had run aground near Indonesia and it is reported that the asylum seekers had abandoned the vessel and were adrift at sea. Indonesian media reports noted that the entire group was rescued by Indonesian fishermen who had then turned them over to Indonesian authorities. They are currently detained on an island in the Kupang area in Indonesia. Newsfirst contacted the Sri Lankan embassy in Jakarta for more information on the 54 Sri Lankan asylum seekers. The embassy noted that the 54 Sri Lankans are still in detention. The letter, penned by the group of asylum seekers, has been submitted to the Immigration Department of New Zealand, the New Zealand Embassy in Indonesia, the IOM headquarters in Indonesia, the Immigration Department of Australia and the New Zealand media. They request that the governments of both countries pay heed to their requests. There are 65 of us, 54 are Sri Lanka. There are 3 women and 4 children. One of them is a pregnant mother. We are living with much difficulty. We are all being detained in a hall. Although we have asked for certain facilities, there has been no response. Most of us are residents of the north. There are some who have left due to stress brought on by personal issues. There are people who were affected by the war as well. 80% of those here were injured during the war.
Speaking at an event held today, Mave Senadi Raja, the leader of the Ilangai Tamil Arasakachi, expressed these views.
The people of Sampur were chased out, and then Rajapaksa issued a gazette notification which gave the land to relations of his wife. Now they have placed another obstacle before it in the form of a BOI project, but it is certain that the people will return to their lands. 500 acres in Sampur will go for a power plant to be built by India, and it has been decided that our people will get their lands.
The induction of the 22nd President of the College of Medical Administrators of Sri Lanka was held yesterday.
The event, which was held for the induction of Dr. Jayasundara Bandara as the 22nd President of the College of Medical Administrators of Sri Lanka, was held under the auspices of Minister of Health and Indigenous Medicine Dr. Rajitha Senaratne. The induction was titled Healthcare Quality and Safety Prioritising Oral Health.
When we go for these international conferences, everybody come and speak about the health services of this country. They commend so much. Even at the last sessions of the WHO, most of the ministers and the administrators from different countries, they said that Sri Lanka is a role model which can be extended to other developing countries. Still, some of our medias, they criticize for the smallest thing. They say there are shortage of drugs. All were fools. They said about 12 drugs are in shortage. Actually, you see only 2, and that also, one is already arrived in Sri Lanka, the other one will be available next week. That is also a very rarely prescribed drug for epilepsy. Sometimes they say that there is a shortage of drugs at the cancer hospital. When I check, there is no shortage. But why they say shortage? Because there are medical reps outside the hospital. They tell the patient that there is a better drug, not the one prescribed by the doctors at cancer institute. It is not so. We supply the best of the drug for our cancer patients.
A media briefing was convened by the EU-Sri Lanka Development Corporation in Colombo yesterday, where the website of the European Union's Support to District Development Programme, or EU-SDDP, was launched.
The official EU-SDDP website was launched by Deputy Minister of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs, Dr. Harsha De Silva, together with David Daly, the EU Ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives.
The EU has allocated over 760 million euro to this country. That's over 100 billion rupees. Although Sri Lanka has performed well under the Millennium Development Goals, there are still pockets of poverty which are multiples of the national average. This is part of our multi-annual indicative programme of over 200 million euro for the period 2014 to 2020. Sri Lanka is going through a series of transformations under the new government of President Sirisena. The European Union welcomes his commitments to improving human rights, good governance, reconciliation and economic inclusiveness. We are working closely with the government on these and other issues.
Sri Lanka as a country has shown remarkable resilience and strength in facing these challenges. However, considerable regional and sectoral disparities still remain in income, educational and health attainments, and other social figures. There is thus a compelling need to bridge inter-district disparities and strengthen the economic, social and institutional foundations of the more impoverished and lagging districts to bring them in line with development objectives and targets articulated at the national level and re-emphasized by the new government.
For Sri Lanka, the challenge is enormous. As a matter of fact, I was with my staff of the National Planning Department and the Department of External Resources entire morning. I was looking at the enormity of the work and the challenges ahead of us. Every dollar that we borrow goes through our new ministry now, the Ministry of Policy Planning and Economic Affairs. And sitting there and trying to tell them, let's go ahead with this project, let's go ahead with the other project, let's not go ahead with this project, is just mind-boggling. Now, managing an economy is no easy task. And we realized this by actually sitting in the driver's seat now and trying to balance all the different demands and needs and issues and supplies.
Pakistan has gifted 8 thoroughbred horses to the mounted division of the Sri Lanka Military Academy at Diatalava. The 8 steeds were ceremonially handed over today by the commander of the Pakistan Army, General R. Sharif, at the Sri Lanka Military Academy in Diatalava. The horses will add to the ranks of the mounted division at the SLMA and will be used for ceremonial purposes and for the training of cadet officers.
They are to be used for future.
It's okay, sir.
On sports news tonight, India's Sai Praneeth has emerged champion in the men's singles category at the second Sri Lanka International Badminton Challenge Championship. Thailand's Suparnida Ketong was the women's single champion. Sri Lanka's shuttlers failed to reach even the semi-finals of the tournament.
The second Sri Lanka International Badminton Challenge Championship was held over 4 days at the Sugatadasa Indoor Stadium. Indian shuttlers Sai Praneeth and Samir Varma qualified for the finals of the men's singles. The higher-ranked Sai won the final with scores of 21-8 in the first 2 sets. While 6 Sri Lankan shuttlers competed, they were unfortunately unable to reach even the semi-finals. Thailand's Suparnida Ketong and Switzerland's Sabrina Akut faced off in the women's final. While Sabrina won the first round 21-17, the second round was won by Suparnida 21-11. The Swiss woman pulled out of the final round with an injury, handing victory to Suparnida. Sri Lanka had 4 women shuttlers competing in the event, but they unfortunately failed to progress to even the second round.
And that's a look at your weekend primetime news tonight. It was a pleasure having you with us. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Katrina Chang. Have a lovely evening ahead.